Hello students, welcome to the channel of Vedant classes. So in this lecture we start a new topic, that is of cumulative frequency distribution. Okay. Now the data is being distributed using the cumulative data. Okay. So in a cumulative form the distribution is done, that's called a cumulative frequency distribution. Okay. So you can represent this thing using a graph, okay, and obtain a one curve that is known as cumulative frequency curve. So let's see its actual definition, that curve that represents the cumulative frequency distribution of grouped data on a graph, and that curve is called cumulative frequency curve. See, this curve is also called ogive. This curve is also called ogive, and this is derived from, this word is derived from word og. Now what og means? The og is a kind of shape like this. It is a shape like this. Okay, here you can see it is a concave part and this is a convex part from outer side. Okay, so this kind of shape is called ogive, and the curve is derived from this. The name of curve ogive is derived from this ogive. You can see it is a S-shaped curve. Two S-shaped curves are meeting at one point. So these two S-shaped curves are there, and this type of shape is called ogive. Okay, so now let's see the important thing that we need to remember. So note down these things. Now let's say we are having a graph like this. So we'll get a shape like this. We'll get a shape like this, either like this. Okay, now see, if we are getting this kind of shape, downward slope, this shape having a downward slope, then it will be a more than ogive, or you can say more than distribution curve. It will be a more than frequency distribution curve, and this will be less than ogive. Okay, so remember this thing. Now see, the intersection point that you are getting, see, you are getting an intersection point over here of both the curve, intersection point. Okay, now let's draw its projection on x and y axis. This will be an x axis, this will be a y axis. Okay, so the point, the x coordinate of the intersection point will give you the value of median. Okay, and here it will be n by 2. So what you need to plot in x-axis, you need to take the limits, or in the x-axis, and in y-axis you need to take a cumulative frequencies. In y you need to consider the cumulative frequency. If you solve the sum, then you get a clear idea regarding this. Okay, so make note of this. Now in less than ogive and in more than ogive. Okay, what you need to consider in at x-axis and in y-axis while making a graph. In graph you need to consider these things. Okay, so in case of less than ogive, on x-axis you need to consider the upper limit of the class, upper limit of the given class, and in y-axis you need to consider the cumulative frequency. In case of more than ogive, you need to consider the lower limits of the class and cumulative frequency in the y-axis. Okay, one more important note, it can be asked in one marker. Okay, always remember that x coordinate of intersection point of less than and more than ogive gives what it gives. It actually gives the median. So this is one important question, it can be asked in the exam. Okay, so remember that you will get a median using the intersection point of less than and more than ogive. Okay, so coordinate for this point will be m comma n by 2. So this coordinate you will get at the intersection point. Okay, okay, now let's solve the question for the cumulative frequency distribution. In this question we are going to determine the less than cumulative frequency distribution, then more than cumulative frequency distribution, then we'll make a graph for the less than ogive, then we'll make a graph for the more than ogive, and we'll find the value of median using the graph. Okay, and at last we'll verify the value of median using the formula that we are having. Okay, so let's start solving this one. Okay, so let's make a distribution for the less than type. So for the less than distribution, first of all, say in the less than type you need to consider the upper limit, right? So the values that are less than 20, the values that are less than 20, so that will be a 5, because in 10 to 20 the frequency is 5, so answer will be 5 over here. Now you need to consider the value less than 30. For the less than 30, in the group, in the class 20 to 30, there are 15, the value of frequency is 15, means let's say there are 15 students. Okay, so in 10 to 20 there are 5 students, so it means that below 30 there are total 20 students. So there are total 20 students below 30, right? So it will be like this, 15 plus 5 plus 15. Okay, now let's see for the value less than 14. For the less than 14 you need to consider all these 3. Okay, so it will be 45. Okay, so that will be like this, 5 plus 15 plus 25. You don't need to show this one, but just for your understanding. Now for the value less than 50, okay, you need to consider all these 4, so that will be 55. So this will be like this, 5 plus 15 plus 25 plus 10. And the value less than 60, you need to consider this one, so this will be 60. You need to consider all these 5 values, right? So this is how you can make a cumulative frequency distribution for the less than type. Now let's see for the more than type. So in case of more than type, you need to consider the lower limits. Okay, so you start with the value that is more than 10. Okay, if the value is more than 10, then you can clearly see that every frequency that is in the given question is more than 10. So in more than 10, the first value will be 60. So it means that you need to consider all the values. Okay, then comes the value more than 20. So in more than 20, you need to subtract this 5 only. You need to consider all these 5 values. Okay, so it will be like this, 55. How we have calculated it as 15 plus 25 plus 10 plus 5. In the value more than 30, you need to consider this 3, so it will be 40. So this will be 25 plus 10 plus 5. And the value more than 40, it will be 15. Just you need to take 10 and 5, and at last the value more than 50. So in last class that is only 5, so it will be 5. Okay, so this is how you can make a distribution for the less than cumulative frequency distribution and more than cumulative frequency distribution. So this is how you can make a table. Now let's see how we can draw an ogive for this one. Okay, so to draw an ogive, let's say first draw the less than ogive. So let's start with 20. So for the 20, it is the value is corresponding value for the cumulative frequency is 5. Okay, so let's plot the graph for the 20. So it will be here, this will be the value. Then let's say for the 30, what will be the value, corresponding value? It will be 20. So let's plot the value for the 30. It will be 20. So it will be somewhere here, right? Okay, then for the 40 it will be 45. Then for the 40 it will be 45, and it will be over here. Okay, corresponding value for the 45. Then for the 50 it will be 55. Sorry, we have plotted the wrong one. For the 40 it will be 45, so point will be here. Okay, not here, we need to cancel this. Okay, so for the 50, it will be 55, then it will be over here. Then for the 60 it will be 60. Okay, so corresponding value for the 60 will be 60, so it will be here. Okay, so you just need to join all these points. Okay, so if you join all these points, you will get a curve like this. So you get a curve like this, okay, when you will join all these points. Okay, so this is the graph for the less than ogive. This is less than ogive. Now let's plot the graph for the more than ogive. Okay, let's plot the graph for the more than ogive. Okay, so in that we need to consider the lower limit, so that will be 10. So in front of 10 we need to plot 60. So 10 and 60. So let's start with 10 and 60. So this will be our first point. This will be our first point. Then for the 20 it will be 55. Then for the corresponding 20 it will be 55. So this will be our second point. Then for the 30 it will be a 40. Then for the 30 it will be 40. So 40 is over here. Okay, then for the 40 it is 15. Then for 40 it will be 15. So let's plot it for the 15. It will be over here. Okay, then for the last one it is 50. So therefore for the 50 it is 5. It will be here. Now join all these points to get the more than ogive. So let's join all these points. After joining all these points, the x coordinate will give us the value for the median. Okay. Okay. So this is our intersection point. We got the intersection point over here. The x coordinate for the intersection point will give us the value for the median. Okay. So let's determine it. Okay. Let's draw its projection on the x-axis. So we are getting the value over here. Okay. So let's find out the value. So according to the scale, the value of the median must be 34. According to the graph, we got the median between 30 to 35 and this value is 34. Okay, and here the corresponding value must be n by 2, so that we are having the value n by 2. This is the value of n by 2. Okay, so this is our value for the n by 2, that is 60 by 2, so that will be 30. Okay, so this point that we got is 34, 30. Okay, so that satisfies the condition. Now let's check whether this value of the median is correct or not. So let's find the median. Let's make a table for the CF. Then CF will be 5, and this will be 20, this will be 45, this will be 55, and this will be 60. Okay, now let's follow the steps. That is, first of all we need to find the n by 2, so that will be 60 by 2. Here the total frequency is 60, so that will be 30. Okay, so 30 lies between the 20 and 45. So let's make a box like this. Okay, so let's apply the formula now. M is equal to L plus n by 2 minus CF upon F into H. So here the value of L is 30. This is the value of L, that is 30. The value of n by 2 is 30 again. The value for the CF is 20. The value for the F is 25, and value of H is 10. Okay, so let's solve this one. So it will be 30 plus This will be 30 minus 10, so it will be 10 into 10 upon 25. So see, we are getting 2 and 5, and here it will be 2. So it is 30 plus 4, so it will be 34. So using formula we have verified the value of median is 34. So our graph is correct. So this is how you can make a graph for the less than and more than type frequency distribution. Okay, so this is how you can make the graphs. So that's it from this lecture. If you are having any doubts, then please mention your doubts in the comment section. So keep working hard, learn the mathematics, enjoy the concepts. Thanks a lot.